Welcome, welcome, welcome. I wanted to start this course with the law of orders or the laws of love that we have in family constellations and in the work that I am doing. And I wanted to do that because I wanted you to get a very clear picture of how these laws are impacting our lives. So, when we talk about the laws of life, laws of life instead of laws of love, but there are laws of life also. So when we talk about them in family constellations or from a systemic point of view, we're not talking about rules in the moral sense, and we're definitely not talking about how people should behave. These laws don't care about what's fair, what's deserved, or who was right and who was wrong. They describe how life moves in families, quietly and relentlessly, wherever, whatever, if we are aware of it or not. So, first law is the law of belonging. And this is usually where people feel something drop in their body when they really hear it. So I want you to really listen to this. Everyone who belongs to a family has a place in the system without exception. That includes the people who were loved and welcomed, but also and especially the ones that were rejected, forgotten, excluded, aborted, judged, or never spoken about. When someone is pushed out of the system simply doesn't want to move on. So, because the system wants balance and doesn't just move on, what usually happens is that another member, most often a child or a later descendant, unconsciously carries something on their behalf. This is not a psychological choice, and it is not about imitation. It is a movement of love and loyalty that says, if you don't have a place, I will hold you. And that is often where unexpected sadness, guilt, anxiety, or heaviness begins. Let me know if you have questions, drop them in the comments. Second law of order. Second law of love is order, the law of order. And this one tends to challenge how we've learned to think about strength and maturity. What do I mean by that? Very good question. In a family system, those who come earlier have precedence over those who come later. Parents come before children, grandparents come before parents, and so on. So this is not a statement about status, about goodness, about capability or capacity. It is simply about the sequence. And the same thing applies to companies and businesses. So when a child takes on the role of the parent emotionally, energetically, or practically, life starts to feel heavy. Because love turns into responsibility, and responsibility turns into exhaustion. Many people are praised for being the strong one, the responsible one, but inside their body they feel tired, resentful, disconnected from their own life. And what's usually happening is that the natural order has been restored and the child is standing where they were never meant to stand. Yeah, when parents get divorced or something happens and one of the parents passes away, that child, if it's only one, but if there are more than one will take the role immediately to become partner for the other person, for the other parent. And they don't stand as their child anymore. They stand as the mother or the father, or yeah. I was talking about this and I all of a sudden I had this influx of stories in my head where if the firstborn was a girl, that girl became the mother for the other siblings. Yeah, so that's a clear example. Anyway, moving on. The third law of love is balance. And this one shows up most clearly in adult relationships, including partnerships, friendships, and even work. For love to stay alive, there needs to be a movement and a balance between giving and taking, between giving and receiving. And it not necessarily in a transactional way and not in perfect equality, but in a way that allows both people to remain present. When one person consistently gives more than they can hold, what's going to happen? Resentment builds slowly and quietly and surely. When one person takes without giving back, the connection fades. Love doesn't usually end because people stop caring. It ends because love is being asked to compensate for something that doesn't belong in the relationship. It's important to understand that these laws are not in any way punitive. They are not there to punish anyone for doing it wrong. They are natural, they are neutral, and in many ways deeply compassionate because they show us the most suffering doesn't come from lack of love. Most suffering comes from love being used to hold things it was never meant to carry. When belonging is restored, when order is restored, and then when balance is allowed to move, there is very often a sense of relief that doesn't come from effort or insight. It comes from things finally being in the right place. That quiet settling, the feeling that something has eased without needing to be fixed, is usually what people have been searching for all along. And in our monthly group constellation sessions, I'm going to make a point of highlighting these laws, how they unfold, how they are seen, and how they impact our lives, our stories, and our suffering. So that's it. Homework for you. I want you to take a couple of minutes and think about what are the patterns that you are repeating. Where do you see these laws not being respected? Is it the law of order? Is it the law of balance? Can you see it? And if yes, please share. Let me know. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.